After weeks of speculations, all doubt about Max Verstappen's future has been taken away after the points the Dutchman scored at the Belgium Grand Prix. What I predicted and what I hoped would happen, happened. Max Verstappen is staying with Red Bull. Many people are disappointed with this news. They hoped he'd join Mercedes and would magically win some championships there. I'm happy with Verstappen at the Austrian team, and I'll tell you exactly why. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. It's not smooth sailing at Oracle Red Bull Racing, and it hasn't been for a while now. Max's biggest complaint is the car and its tricky balance and small operating window. Now, the 4-time champion hasn't scored many points in the last 3 races, so you might think that the RB21 is completely hopeless. We went 3 races without any podiums. This hasn't happened since 2019. You think this is a reason for a huge crisis, but it isn't, because Verstappen was very unlucky in those 3 races. He had a poor result in Austria, where Kimi Antonelli crashed into him with his tricky W16, a bad result in Britain because they had a low downforce setup in the wet, and a poor result in Belgium where he had a high downforce setup, especially for wet conditions, and the FIA were a bunch of pussies and postponed the race long enough to make it a dry race. It was boring as hell. What I'm hearing is that the upgrades they've brought are doing their job, although it's not enough to beat the McLarens. The entire conversation about Max Verstappen's departure was initiated by George Russell, who is currently negotiating a new and improved contract at Mercedes, and many insiders were aware of the exit clause Max Verstappen has. And the summer break is upon us after the Hungarian Grand Prix. Verstappen needed to be 4th in the standings for the exit clause to come into play. George Russell in P4 now can't overtake Verstappen in the standings, so that's out of the window. Verstappen has said on many occasions that his main goal is to work with the team to make the car better, and he's at ease with the Red Bull team. He intends to stay there for the whole length of his career. It was funny when he was asked about it before the Belgium Grand Prix, in a room full of reporters, if there was a chance he might not drive for Red Bull next season. He answered that there's a chance he might not wake up the next day and he won't race at all. Yeah, it's a little dark, but I think he means to say never say never. So that's that. Max Verstappen will drive for his favorite team for 2026. Let's look at what that year might look like. A huge set of new regulations will come into play for the 2026 season. A new engine, new aero, smaller cars and lots more. If you're really into the technical side of F1, I recommend my friend's channel, F1 Unchained. He dives deeper into these sort of things. So there are many uncertainties about where all the different teams will sit in the standings this time next season. I hear a lot of hype about Mercedes and their ability to create engines. This is one reason why people push Max into the open arms of Toto Wolff. Me, personally, I'm not so sure. Mercedes is having a meeting today in Brackley to talk about where they went wrong in developing the W16, and this has been going on for 4 years now. If they create the best engine, McLaren will have it too, and most likely on a much better platform, with Rob Marshall being there. Then there's Ferrari, whose design team are getting documents sent from none other than Lewis Hamilton about things they should do to make the car fast. So it could be Ferrari's year next year. I remember he did the same thing at Mercedes before he left. Anyway, Ferrari was good in 2022 with the new regs, so I don't count them out. Aston Martin will have their first Adrian Newey car, so that looks promising, and Williams and Alpine are making positive noises too. So with all this uncertainty about the order in 2026, it would be silly to commit to another team and then find out they aren't competitive. I love that Verstappen stays loyal to Red Bull, gives them the benefit of the doubt to then decide what's best. This whole new regulation set is a huge challenge for every team. On the other hand, it's also a clean slate, a complete reset. If Pierre Wache and Enrico Balbo have developed themselves into a corner in this ground effect era, they get a new opportunity to shine in the new regs. The new engine, built in their own Red Bull powertrains facility might just do the job. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of people who stayed from Honda and a couple of hundred people post from Mercedes who will create this engine, with Ford doing the electronics. I don't want to dismiss that whole package before we've seen it on track. With all that said, I don't see a reason for Verstappen to jump ship now. I appreciate loyalty, and we know Red Bull is doing everything they can to provide him with what he needs. People underestimate what Max has at the Milton Keynes team. Jumping ship, like Alonso has done so many times, is not the answer. I'm glad Verstappen isn't influenced by the noise of the media and the fans, because they are an opportunistic bunch, to say the least. I remember a little over a year ago when the Red Bull drama started playing out. The scandal with Horner and the drop-off in performance of the RB20 compared to the McLarens. A lot of angry people were pointing at Jos Verstappen, saying he was a disruptor for speaking up about Christian Horner. It's funny to me that those same people are screaming for Max Verstappen to drop Red Bull in favor of Mercedes, the team they hated in 2021. The irony is that Jos Verstappen spoke up about Horner because he most likely had already heard through the grapevine that Newey and Wheatley would leave if Horner stayed. He spoke up to prevent that from happening. It would have saved a lot of problems, I can tell you that. This might be hard to deal with for certain Jos haters, but he said it on behalf of the team who are directly responsible for the car his son drives. The quick and easy option would just be to up and leave now that the change is coming. It would be utterly ridiculous to leave now that Red Bull has shown by appointing Laurent Mekies that they are willing to do whatever needs to be done to get things in order again. Nico Rosberg confronted Jos Verstappen about Horner being gone, and Jos said that he had nothing to say about it. To which Rosberg said, "Now you have nothing to say? Well, what is left to say?" Anything Jos Verstappen would say now, after Horner is gone, would be considered a kick in the teeth, and I think it was wise to not say anything about it. So now, even after those people have left, the Verstappen camp will stay loyal and will grab the bull by the horns and look forward. I have respect for that, and it will make the victories in 2026 or 2027 much sweeter. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I want Verstappen to build towards a new period of dominance. Next year there will be 11 teams and 22 drivers on the grid, and only one can be the champion. Most of the time, these things don't happen overnight, and with Verstappen already in possession of 4 titles, it might never happen again, regardless of which team he jumps to. It's best to stay where you are, better the devil you know. I have trust in Red Bull, even if they're not where they should be now. With Verstappen there, the sponsors will stay, the talent they have will continue, and I think they can make it work. There's a new vibe surrounding the team, which will eventually lead to great results. Subscribe. Take care now. Doei doei. I remember a little over a year